Well, the Indiana State Senate is expected to vote tomorrow to approve the state's new right-to-work law. Governor Mitch Daniels has already said that he will sign it into law. So the question tonight, do right-to-work states do better than so-called forced union states? Ben has the reality check you won't see anywhere else.
If you've been following the right-to-work fight in Indiana, then you know there's been a lot of debate over what this kind of law means for a state's economy. Tonight, I'm going to try to separate the fact from the fiction. Let's begin with what a right-to-work state is. Since the 1940s, 22 states have passed laws for the right to work. But what does that mean? Essentially, a right-to-work bill prevents unions from collecting mandatory fees from workers for labor representation. Unions say the bills are unfair because if they collectively bargain for wages or for work conditions, all workers in a company are benefiting. To allow some workers to freeload and reap the benefits of the deal, but then not pay union dues, is unfair. But on the other hand, lawmakers say forcing all employees to pay union dues out of a paycheck when they don't, in some cases, even want that representation is also unfair. And that by passing a right-to-work bill, companies that provide good-paying manufacturing jobs will stay in Indiana instead of setting up shop in a right-to-work state. In the case of Indiana, Governor Mitch Daniels explains that he changed his position on right-to-work because the state needs it.
Eventually, 8 years of evidence convinced me we were going to need it, that we were simply missing too many chances.
But will the right-to-work law actually help or hurt Indiana? According to a study commissioned by Indiana's Chamber of Commerce, employment grew 100% in right-to-work states between 1977 and 2008. Compare that to only 57% in those without the law. The best example of right-to-work laws working? Oklahoma. The most recent state to adopt the law, that was in 2001. In 2002, Oklahoma added 7,822 jobs. They also posted the highest number of new jobs in 7 years. So clearly, the right-to-work law in Oklahoma was a good thing. It meant more jobs, right? Well, not necessarily. The study failed to take into account the geography issues. Missouri, New Mexico, and Colorado all experienced similar job growth in the same year. In some cases, that growth exceeded Oklahoma's. And in all 3 states, there is no right-to-work law. Indiana Republican Brent Waltz voted no to moving Indiana's bill forward. His back is to the camera, but this is why he voted that way.
That right-to-work is wrong for Indiana. That it will cost jobs, not create them.
According to stats from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, employment growth from 2003 to 2008, it shaped up like this. In right-to-work states, it was 9.1%. In forced union states, 3.6%. The national average, 5.7%. As for growth in real manufacturing GDP, well, it looks like this. From 2000 to 2008, in right-to-work states, it was 20.9%. Forced union states, 6.5%. And the national average, 10.4%. So here's what you need to know. There are so many studies out there and so many statistics about right-to-work states and laws. If you study both sides, there is one conclusion you can draw. Both sides are right to an extent, and both sides are wrong. In some cases, right-to-work laws could mean lower wages for some workers. But in some cases, they also can mean more jobs for everyone. Some states without the laws do well. Some states with the laws do well. The bottom line? There is no magic bullet for job creation. A host of factors beyond unions, including geography, population growth, industry relocation, workforce population, business tax incentives, they all play huge factors in how a state performs. Will Indiana's right-to-work law mean more jobs for the Hoosier state? Well, let's hope so. Not for any political reason. Not because we want to bust unions, not because we want workers to suffer unless they have a union on their side. Let's hope that Indiana succeeds in spite of the special interests on both sides who want to control that success. And that is Reality Check.
If you would like to make your voice heard on this story, you can head over to Ben's Facebook page. You can find it by searching Ben Swan, WXIX.